Greetings, my name is Jean-Michel, and I'd like to thank Dustin Cormier for inviting me to contribute to this collaborative effort of why Vedic astrology. So this is an excellent umbrella topic because there are so many great reasons why you should choose to practice Vedic astrology and why I eventually chose Vedic astrology over Western astrology. So the easiest answer I can give to that question is that there are just so many more techniques available to read a chart in Vedic astrology. And the most interesting and profound, or one of the most interesting and profound of them that is unique to Vedic astrology is the Varga charts. We can also call them the divisional charts, which is what I'm going to be discussing today. So I'd consider the Varga charts as an intermediate technique, and when you begin utilizing them regularly in your practice, you're entering into more advanced levels of Vedic astrology. So in other words, you're going to be getting more nuanced and precise astrology. So even though there is so much to learn about each Varga and the Vargas in general, it's very important to begin familiarizing yourself with them as early on as possible when you begin studying Vedic astrology. So as you become more and more comfortable reading the base chart, the natal chart, you can then begin incorporating the divisional charts, especially when it comes to reading the dashas, the planetary periods, as well as making accurate predictions using transits. So it's important to begin using them or just get to know them from the outset and don't wait till later on to bring them in. Knowing them is going to provide you a huge advantage when you want to get deeper into getting more accurate astrological predictions, but understanding of a person's personality. So it's also important to say right from the outset that each Varga has its own important planets to it, its own important bhava cusps to it, or house cusps. And you don't read it exactly like you read the natal chart. There's specific techniques for each Varga, so you don't just read it like a regular natal chart. And just as an example, just last week, I was doing an overview of the Rashis, the signs in Vedic astrology, with a student of mine. And even though she's just a beginner, we started covering the Vargas just so she can then start to familiarize herself with them, and then gradually we can start introducing how to read them on a deeper level as she grows in her familiarity with the basics of astrology. So it's important to start using them, or to start even just acknowledging that they're there and then keep them in the back of your head to eventually start using them. So let me get in now to the introduction to the Vargas, and just to give a quick basic overview of what we're talking about when we're talking about Vargas. So first, what's a Rashi? Well, a Rashi is, in Vedic astrology, or in Sanskrit rather, it means a category, a group, or a pile of something. So when we're talking about Rashis, we're talking about the 12 sections of the sun's ecliptic divided into 30 degrees. So the Greeks called it zodiakos, the circle of little animals. We call it the zodiac signs, or the zodiac. And just as a quick note, a Rashi in lowercase means a zodiac sign, and a Rashi capitalized is the first divisional chart, or the Rashi is the first divisional chart, the Rashi chart. So here it is. This is the ecliptic. If you were standing at the North Pole with Polaris right above, this is the sun's ecliptic, and each one of these sections of space is a Rashi. It's a pile. But what is a Rashi a pile of? Well, first, it's a pile of categories of characteristics that give a certain energetic expression to that section of the ecliptic, that section of space. So the categories, male or female, the modality, movable, fixed or dual, the body part, the symbol. These 16 categories, they combine to form a kind of toolbox of abilities, tendencies, and expressions which are contained in the Rashi. So that's what gives it its certain expression, why we say Aries is this, Libra is that, Scorpio acts like this. Well, all of that, it's when you combine the characteristics, you get a certain character. So it's a pile of 16 categories. The second pile that each Rashi is a pile of 16 mathematical divisions, which are the Vargas, when we start to divide that 30 degrees of space into more sections of space. And each Varga, so each divided section shows a specific area of life and experience on earth, such as wealth, our partner, ancestors, and devotion. And I'm going to show you what I mean by how we divide them, what I mean, and I'll show you pictorially so it's easier to understand. So a Varga in Sanskrit means a class, group, or division, or a category of something. So they're divisional charts, and they're created by dividing the 12 zodiac signs into smaller segments to create quote-unquote new charts. So the sage Parashara gave us 16 important Vargas. So there's 16 important charts besides the first Varga. The first Varga is included, and that first Varga is the Rashi chart, the natal chart. And a lot of people ask why 16 and why not 1 through 16? How can we study the D20, the 20th divisional chart, the 24th, and then we jump to 27? Well, there are mathematical correspondences to each Varga with the Grahas and Bhavas. In other words, there's mathematical correspondences, there are energetic correspondences with each planet and each house, which corresponds to a certain area of life. So it's a really deep topic for why those 16 and why 16, but it's a bit too deep for now, but it's a very fascinating part when you're really diving into what the Vargas are. So really quickly, the Rashi chart, so the first divisional chart, is that astronomical, the physical coordinates of the sky at the moment of your birth, and it's setting the foundation of your life. What experiences you're going to have or not going to have or less likely to have. So your basic life path, your emotional and intellectual character, and the opportunities and obstacles we're all going to be faced walking down that path in life. So the natal chart, you can dive into it, and that's the foundation of astrology. Well, what the Vargas do is they help refine and confirm what's in the Rashi chart, especially when it comes to predictions. So the Vargas become essential for nuanced Vedic astrology to really get into, especially when it comes to timing certain things. Say if you're in Mars Dasha, looking into the Varga charts and say look into a certain area of life, how is Mars doing in that chart? Well, it's not in a good condition. Well, that area of life is probably going to suffer during Mars Dasha, etc. And important to know that the Vargas are not going to be contradicting the main chart, the Rashi chart. They're going to be relating more information about each specific realm of life of what that Varga indicates. So just to give you a quick short pictorial example, this is the 9th divisional chart, and in traditional, if you went to an astrologer in India, they would show, if you went and asked for a reading, a lot of times they would give you 2 charts, the natal chart and the Navamsha chart. The Navamsha chart being the second most important. So when you start dividing the signs, you're starting to get all these smaller sections of the zodiac. So if you're not familiar, this is the South Indian chart, and instead of this box just being Aries, now you have all 9 sections of different signs in each section. And each Varga is going to have its own formula for which Rashi is going to go into each one of those segments when you start dividing them. And there are some disagreements in Vedic texts about certain Vargas. So for example, to create the Hora chart, the second divisional chart, the first 15 degrees of, say, Aries is the Rashi itself, so Aries. Or the first 15 degrees will be Aries. The second 15 degrees is going to be the Rashi opposite of Aries, so Libra. And in the Drekana, a different formula. The first 10 degrees, so you're going to be dividing each sign into 3 sections of 10 degrees each. First 10 degrees is the Rashi itself. The second 10 degrees, the 5th Rashi from that Rashi in the first 10 degrees. And the third 10 degrees, the 9th Rashi from that Rashi in the first 10 degrees. So you have a 1-5-9 relationship when you start dividing up those sections to create the Drekana chart. So to visualize, to show you what I mean, to make it simpler and easier to look at, this is a natal chart. This is planets in signs in a natal chart. And focus here in the sign Leo over here. This is Mercury in 28 degrees and the Sun in 16 degrees in Leo in the natal chart. So if we start dividing that natal chart into 2 sections to start creating the Hora chart of 15 degrees in each section, according to the Hora formula, we're then dividing Leo as the first 15 degrees and the sign opposite, Aquarius. So Aquarius is the second 15 degrees. So the Sun and Mercury are in Aquarius when we divide it into 2. So when we get the Hora chart, now Mercury and the Sun are in Aquarius in the D2, the second divisional chart, the Hora chart. And if you notice, the Moon was in 5 degrees Aries, but the first 15 degrees is the sign itself, so the Moon stays in Aries. And technically, when you think about it, if in your natal chart all your planets were in the first 15 degrees of each sign, your Hora chart would be the exact same, because each first section is the sign itself. And this also goes with house cusps when you're working with Bhavachalita cusps. So pay attention to Leo over here again. The 7th cusp is at 43 minutes in Leo. The 8th cusp is at 28 degrees in Leo. So when we start dividing it, again, the 8th is then in Aquarius if we start dividing the chart up like that. So when you have the Hora chart here, now in Aquarius, the Lagna was in the first 15 degrees, the ascendant. but the 8th is now in the first sign. So if we clean it up a little bit, now we get the complete Hora chart. When we put those house cusps and we also put the planets according to the formula where they go. So this is what the Hora chart would look like for this person. So you have the Sun and Mercury in the ascendant with the first cusp and the 8th cusp. The 9th cusp is in the second sign from the ascendant, and so forth. And for example, in the Hora chart, the most important planet is the moon and the second cusp. So then you'd start reading for those things, and you start to get into more depth of how to actually read the Hora chart, which I'm planning on doing in a series after this video to go more in depth about what each Varga indicates and then how to start getting used to reading them. So here's a graph that can be very useful to give you a summary of what each of these Vargas are. There's 16. For example, the Rashi is the body and the personality, the base life path, the Hora, the second divisional chart, the ability to resolve your responsibilities, to have what you need to have when you need it. And each of the Vargas has an important planet in it to study that planet in it, as well as an important bhava or house cusp. And then secondary things you can study in each one. The Drekana is about our coworkers and our siblings. The Chaturamsha, the wealth that we have beyond necessity, and we can use the Chaturamsha for real estate. Saptamsha, partnerships and the fruit from partnerships. So you can use the Saptamsha to study children, and the planet of children, Jupiter being the most important graha there. The Navamsha, as I mentioned, the most important chart besides the Rashi chart for marriage and the ability to feel the purpose of your life as you walk your life's path. The Dasamsha, the great achievements, great fruits that you're capable of. The Devadasamsha, your parents and ancestors, your reaction to the influence of your parents and ancestors. The Shodamsha, the ease and comfort of your life, as well as vehicles, how well you are situated in handling difficulties in life. The Vimsamsha, the devotional chart, how your capacity to devote yourself to something. The Siddhamsha, the ability for spiritual understanding. The Bamsha, strength of character. Trimsamsha, health. Very important chart, the Trimsamsha. Kavadamsha, the extremes of auspiciousness and inauspiciousness. How well or how bad can things actually get in your life? The Ashkavadamsha, the strength of your purpose, your ability to understand your soul's purpose, and the soul, of course, being the sun. So the sun's the most important graha in that chart. And the Shashtiamsha, the 16th final chart, which is the final concrete experiences. And this chart will change every 30 seconds to a minute. About every minute, that chart is going to change because you're dividing each 30-degree section of space into 60 sections. So you're talking about half-degree divisions. And that's going to be changing minute by minute. So even two twins born a couple minutes apart are going to have different Shashtiamshas, therefore different final results and concrete experiences. And you can divide the Vargas into the first 12, which are the concrete areas of life, the second 12, and the three most important in the second 12 are your inner life and relationship to concrete things, etc. So there's a lot of great detail you can go into studying the Vargas. It's a fascinating aspect of Vedic astrology. There are many unique techniques in each Varga that you can study. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing a more in-depth overview of the Varga charts as time goes on. This is a very simple introduction, but they are very, very great to familiarize yourself from the outset. And if you would like to book a reading with me, to talk about transits, to talk about predictions, or to go over your own chart, you can find my information at jmvedic.com. And as I mentioned, that I am beginning to do one-on-one personal courses for beginners to astrology. Or if you have a specific area of Vedic astrology that you're interested in, I'm personalizing courses and doing walkthroughs one-on-one. So you can also contact me about doing personalizing a program like that. I'd like to thank again Dustin Cormier for involving me, and hopefully I can see you at my channel at John Michel's Astrology, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, thank you.